Welcome to the PhoneArena.com video review of the BlackBerry Curve 8350i. The 8350 is probably the last we'll see of the 8300 series, but they're going out on a solid note. It's the first new BlackBerry we've seen from Nextel in a very long time, and replaces the aging 7100 in the lineup. The Curve is similar in design to any of the other 8300 series Curves we've seen, although it is slightly bigger in all dimensions. It still feels very good in the hand though, and the added size isn't extremely noticeable. For a Nextel phone, it's downright svelte. You can see very little difference. One big thing is that the left side convenience key is hard-coded to push to talk. Other than that, most things remain the same. The other difference is the 2.5mm jack instead of the 3.5 one we've been accustomed to. Although around this jack is the Nextel ring, which allows for push-to-talk over wired headsets. We like to see 3.5mm phones, but at the same time, it makes sense to have a 2.5 with the direct connect ring on this one. This is also the only 8300 to feature the 4.6 OS, which is very beautiful. It's mostly eye candy though, as not a whole lot has changed. The web browser is definitely better than we've seen on previous BlackBerries, the Storm and Bold notwithstanding. Functionality is way better than the 7100 though, and for current Nextel users, this will be a great refresher. One of the big differences between the 7100 and the Curve is the keypad. The Curve, of course, has the full QWERTY, whereas the 7100 uses the Sure type. Another big difference is internal memory. The original Curve, the 8300, and subsequent GSM versions, the 8310 and 20, all had 64 megs of internal memory. The CDMA Curve bumped that up to 96, and the 8350 iDen Curve has even more at 128. This makes for a noticeably faster performance, and we experience no lags or hang-ups. Part of this can be attributed to the new 4.6 OS, although anybody who's been following the Bold development has seen that that's had some issues with the operating system. The same thing can be said about the Storm and its 4.7 OS, which is basically 4.6 for a touchscreen. We have to say, the 8350 is the smoothest BlackBerry we've used yet. There's definitely some substance to back up the eye candy. Beyond that, features remain pretty much the same. We have a 2-megapixel camera. In lieu of high-speed 3G data, which Nextel does not offer, there is Wi-Fi, like found on the GSM Curve. It's a good stopgap solution, but obviously Wi-Fi hotspots aren't everywhere, especially in construction zones. That said, the BlackBerry service works just fine even over Nextel's archaic data system. Everything was great on the phone. The call quality was okay on our end. Calls did sound a little bit hollow, as if we were in a large room, but they said that we sounded excellent. Battery life is rated at 4 hours, fairly solid, but we were able to achieve an astounding 7 hours and 22 minutes in our testing. BlackBerries typically are underrated by the manufacturer. However, this took it to an extreme. The 8300 has obviously been around for a while, but it's a good form factor, and we really like what they've done with the 8350. Nextel users can finally have a device to call their own, and though we will inevitably see QChat smartphones, at least for now, they're up with the Curve.